What's up, everybody? Aaron Hilliard for Mushroom Wonderland. I'm out here at the Grand Pacific Ocean, Washington State, but I'm gonna head up into these hills, into those spruce forests, and see if I can find any mushrooms. Come with me into Mushroom Wonderland.
Welcome to Mushroom Wonderland.
Just kind of found this turnout, and I'm gonna step off into this forest up here, and this is all Douglas fir, spruce, and western hemlock. Really good habitat for mushrooms. So I just want to come in here for just a short walk to kind of identify and explore what kind of wild mushrooms are growing here on the coast. So there's this little trail heading up into the woods. Right at the base of the trail, look at this. Chunks of lobster mushroom all over the place. They're pretty dried out. They're the bases of lobster mushrooms. So somebody's been picking mushrooms up here, lobster mushrooms, obviously. But right here, greeting me right on the entrance to this trail, is this big mushroom hanging out of the side of the hill right here. Check this guy out. Oh, I'm gonna pick that. Nice. This is a big bolete. Let me get on some flatter ground. Oh, look at that. Okay, lobster mushrooms all over, just littering the forest floor. This one, the little past prime Hypomyces lactifluorum. Look at the young, the old ones right here, purple. And I actually see I see a young one coming up right here. So look at that, lobster mushrooms, super easy to find right here at the coast. Wow, I literally just stepped off the trail or onto the trail and coming into lobsters. So these are commercially picked and sold here up here on the coast. Look right in here. Oh man, they're all over. Another one there. I think I see a little flash of orange down there. So apparently really common. In years past I thought, wow, lobster mushrooms are tough to find, but sometimes in some areas they're just all over the place, really. So these two are in good shape. This one a little past its prime, but no, it's actually fine. And if I decide that I don't like it later, I'll just dry it for a dyer's mushroom. But this one, Boleta smithii, you see that blue bruising? This one's all faded and washed out by the rain. You might mistake this for a big porcini, Boletus edulis, but this one, no, it is the Boleta smithii, inferior. I guess it's non-toxic, but nobody really eats it. And it stains blue. It's got this yellowish and this reddish color, and the reddish fades as it gets older. And so it just looks like a big pale mushroom. Could definitely look like a porcini. That's what I thought it was at first. I was like, oh, the porcinis are popping. But nope, the Smith's bolete. So that's a good sign. Usually porcini will be coming up about the same time. So I haven't seen the coastal flush of porcini come up yet, which is one of the best mushrooms in the world, in my opinion. But trying to get into this forest, a little bit tricky. Pretty thick in here. And right down here, another lobster mushroom. I'm seeing signs of them everywhere. I think probably commercial pickers have been up in here. This area, really hot spot for commercial mushroom picking. So they come out here. Oh, look at this. What the heck? This guy is just like growing off the side of this log. No way. Look at that. I've never seen a lobster growing quite like that. That was insane. And that is a beaut. That's in perfect shape. I'm gonna get this dirt off the base. Look at that lobster mushroom. It was like literally just like growing on top of a log, on some soil on top of this really old decayed stump. That is different. So these are mycorrhizal, associating with the trees here. And so usually you don't see mycorrhizal mushrooms growing off of wood like that, but it happens. So I've stumbled my way into a good lobster patch. Look at this. Oh my gosh, I almost wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it. It's a yellowfoot, or a winter chanterelle, growing here by the coast in Washington State. So a few of them Chanterelles tubiformis, or the Yellowfoot, or the winter chanterelle. Bizarre. And this one, not a Yellowfoot. So looking like the same kind of color, right? But a totally different mushroom. Be careful out there. But amazed to see Chanterelles, or the Yellowfoot, fruiting right now out by the coast. Did not expect to see that. These are some really good edibles. I really like the Yellowfoot chanterelle. And so it's called a chanterelle. That's a common name, but scientifically it's a totally different genus, not even related to the golden chanterelle. But it does have decurrent gills, so that's probably why it gets called a chanterelle. Similar color too. But this one, a really decent edible. They're very firm. Kind of square stems, you know, they're not really round. Always decurrent like that. Really undulate margin like that. And they get kind of funnel shaped. And these are pretty stout. You can find these in big numbers. That is super cool. And I'm going to take some nice pictures, put an observation on iNaturalist. Didn't expect to see those. The Chanterelles tubiformis, or the Yellowfoot chanterelle. See how yellow the foot is? Yep, very nice. Mycorrhizal, growing with the trees here. Can only be foraged wild. Choice edible. And I'm going to go ahead and harvest these. There's some young pins. I'm going to leave those. But I am taking those ones. A nice, pretty solo Russula. Not sure on the species, but this is in the brittle gills. So Russula mushrooms, brittle gills, they just come apart real easy. They snap like chalk. And a lot of them are edible. Over 100 species in the Pacific Northwest. So tough to identify them down to species. The shrimp Russell is pretty popular. But these ones are like pure white. I'm not sure exactly which ones they are. Look at this. That's a fuzzy kind of cap. Let me get this one from the base. Look at that. Cool. So this one, kind of an orange colored pore. Bolete type mushroom. It's got this brick red colored cap. Brick red stipe. And orange pores. This one called Chalceoporus piperatus. This one is the spicy bolete. So if you nibble a little piece of this, it's really peppery. And that gives it its name, paperatus. A mycorrhizal mushroom. Again, growing with the conifer trees here. A lot of beautiful big trees here. And this little guy inedible, just for the fact that it's super spicy. Leave it alone, but these are a good indicator. Usually you'll find Amanita muscaria growing around there. Some people like collecting those for various reasons. I'm not interested in that, but the Chalceoporus, not a bad one. What do we got right here? That's got a pretty color on it. Let me get under here. Ugh. Dang it, broke off. Look at that, a hedgehog. Dang it, I broke that stem off, but there's another one right there and another one right there. These are all I ever wanted. These are amazing. So hedgehogs, this is definitely what I was hoping to find out here at the coast. And these are thick young baddies for sure. Look at this one right here. Heck yeah. Oh, there's another one right in there. Boom. That makes me a happy camper. I'm going to set these down so I can photograph them, but I see another nice chunky one in here. Boom, look at that. How beautiful. So they have little teeth instead of regular gills or a sponge. They have little tooth-like structures that produce their spores underneath, and they can look a lot like a chanterelle, but when you pick it and flip it over, you see those teeth. That is awesome. The genus Hydenum, kind of a mess taxonomically here in Washington and the Pacific Northwest. So like Noah Siegel told me, we don't even try naming these to species really anymore. We're just going to call them hedgehogs. And see those little tooth-like spines under there? That's your indicator. Any of these Hydenum mushrooms with the kind of yellow, sherbet, orange-colored caps, white, fleshy stipe, and those teeth under there is going to be edible. This whole genus is great edibles, Hydenum. So stoked to find hedgehog mushrooms. And these are stout and really thick and delicious and meaty. So personally, my favorite mushrooms, I think. I don't know, it's hard to say. Hard to say what my true favorite is, but these have to be right up there. So, all right, got some pretty cool photos. Gosh, those are gorgeous. Super stout, amazing hedgehogs. So whenever I find mushrooms like that, kind of growing near each other, I'm gonna slow down and look around a little bit closer, because these mycorrhizal mushrooms, the ones that grow with the trees, when they fruit, you know, they often come up in big troops because there's something happening right in that spot that the mushroom just really likes, that the fungus in the ground likes. The patch, oh my goodness. This might be the biggest hedgehog I've ever seen in my life. Did I just do this and find it, get it on camera? Watch this thing. Oh Lord. My record. My prize winner. You guys aren't gonna believe this. Oh, don't break. Come on. Come on out of there. Oh my Lord. Would you look at that? Holy smokes. That is so awesome. Just found it right here for you, girls and boys. Whoa. Look at that. It's like a quadruplet here with some babies. But what an example. Pretty sure this is Hydenum washingtonianum, how big this is. That's what I've heard, these huge ones. Never found a hedgehog like that in my life. I've seen them, but never found one. So there it is. In real life, this thing weighs well over a pound. That is so cool. Dude, I don't have my knife on me or I would cut away that dirt. But really excited as I was like checking out my basket. Look here, more hedgehogs. Yes, dude, I'm in hedgehog heaven. I'm not even kidding. Look at these. These are fat boys. So hedgehogs are kind of rare on the Kitsap Peninsula where I'm from, but a little bit more common here on the coast apparently. And I've never picked them this chunky before. These things are beastly. So needless to say, I am so stoked that I stopped here. Look at this. Right down here, young Chanterelles, tubiformis. More winter chanterelles. This is what they look like young, real fresh. I'm not gonna pick those ones though, because yeah, why? What's the point? Got this nice old rotten snag here and a young russula button growing there at the base of it. Not too interested in those. Look right here. More winter chanterelle. So from the top, looking really dark. There we go. Beautiful. These almost look like a black trumpet or something if you didn't know better. What a cool looking mushroom those are. Look at this crazy find. I just realized it's winter chanterelles growing on a pine cone. Look at all the babies coming out of it. This is something else. So what the heck? Man, finding some weird stuff along this walk. That lobster mushroom, those crazy huge hedgehogs, and then we have winter chanterelles growing on a pine cone. So once you think you know something, you get proven wrong, you know. This happens to me a lot, but that is really cool. Really bizarre. Look at that. Little baby Yellowfoot's coming right out of the spruce cone. I literally just jumped out of my truck onto the side of the road. Did not expect to find really any mushrooms, so excuse me if I'm a little ill-prepared. Definitely taking that spruce cone because that is the coolest thing ever. But look at these clusters of them. Aren't they bizarre looking? Ah, they're really stuck in there. That's fine. We've got quite the edible mushroom medley going on now. This is so cool. So these coastal forests with the spruce. The spruce is an amazing mycorrhizal associate. And You know, these mushrooms, the main ones that I'm after, the hedgehogs, the lobster, the chanterelle, the yellowfoot, these are all mycorrhizal. So they're all growing in association with the spruce here. What do we got here? Ah, Krugomphus. This one's a little different. Is the Krugomphus. These could be mistaken for a chanterelle, perhaps, because of these decurrent gills and this orange color. But this one, it's edible, but forgettable. Nobody really eats Krugomphus that I know of. You could cook them and they turn bright purple in the pan, but you could do that with lobster mushrooms too. And people like eating lobster mushrooms. So what do we got right there? Another, wait, this guy is quite a bit different. Probably a type of Cortinarius that's all blown out. Cortinarius is a pretty big genus. Tough to nail those down to species. There's people out there doing it, but they're like dedicating themselves to Cortinarius. Right there, huge Russula, and then a Krugomphus coming up next to it. That is a big old Russula. It's blackened. It was probably a Russula brevipes that is just rotting. What did I come into over here? But more monster hedgehogs. Oh yeah, dude, I'm tripping on the size of these hedgehogs. This is so good. This is so good. Like this. So hedgehogs, winter chanterelle, lobster mushroom. Oh my goodness. And what are the odds that like right here, I got this basket just full of awesome mushrooms, and then look right here. Golden chanterelles, Chanterelles formosus, and they're all over right here. So dang, better fill up that corner of my basket. They're chunky out here on the coast and really gold, really beautiful. I can't believe the abundance of wild mushrooms out here. They feel a little different than the ones that I pick on the Kitsap Peninsula. These are a little more moist. They're definitely more wet to the touch. I think there's just generally a lot more moisture in this area. And look at, they grow in these clumps like this. You could fill up some baskets pretty dang quick with these thick little chanterelles. The coastal habitat is really cool because it doesn't necessarily have to be raining a lot out. These trees gain a lot of moisture just from the fog belt that settles here along the coast, and all that fog condensates, and then it turns into drips falling off the leaves and off the needles, and it waters the ground here. And you know, the mushrooms can be found when it's dry elsewhere, and that makes this a really good habitat for you know, commercial picking, because the mushrooms just grow because of this moisture. Just by picking these mushrooms and getting their spores kicking around, you're probably doing them a massive favor. So look at all these gorgeous mushrooms in this basket. Ooh, another nice patch of winter chanterelle. I had no idea that this little stop was going to turn into just like mushroom porn. That's a beauty. Oh wow, there's some real nice ones. Those are some beautiful yellowfoot. can't believe this. This little walk in the woods turns into this. Look at that lobster. That one's toast. It's too old. That one's pretty proper. So seriously, like within arm's reach almost. Chanterelle, winter chanterelle, lobster mushroom, hedgehogs. Another beautiful hedgehog. Look at that real creamy white stipe. Teeth underneath. Sherbet colored cap. As good as they get, in my opinion. And they're really, really popping out here on the coast. Look at these. Dude. So stoked. Wow. Yeah, I think in a perfect world I would be cutting them with a knife, but look at this big one. Ooh. You just see that color kind of popping out. Get down below. Boom. My gosh. Honestly, I've never picked hedgehogs like this before, so I'm really stoked. The ones that kind of grow around my area are usually really puny. So these things are just herkers. Another one over here. So yeah, if you want to find yourself some hedgehog mushrooms, head to the coast. Head to the coastal spruce habitat. And you see all this brush around here. We've got what appears to be lily of the valley, black huckleberry, and moss. And above all, these large spruce trees are host to these gorgeous little mushrooms. I always knew that the coastal habitat was really good for certain mushrooms, but I had no idea that it would be like nearly this good. Just kind of stepping out here, amazed with the amount of different fungi. I have filled my basket. Now I'm coming back every year. This is it. That's it. It's decided. Look at this. And that's why we call it a spreader, because it's low, spread out on the ground like that. It's a few different mushrooms growing right there. Gorgeous. This basket is so full already. I did not even expect to find any mushrooms, honestly. So good. So good out here. Big yellowfoot. These are just some of the prettiest mushrooms, but look right here growing off of this tree. A yellowfoot, and inside this tree, yellowfoot, chanterelles growing in a tree. So I don't know how many rules can get broke on one video, but we have the winter chanterelles growing out of pine cones, off of trees. So anything goes out here. Anything goes out here on the coast. Tonight, I'm just going to be cooking up these hedgehog mushrooms. These are arguably my favorite mushroom to eat. Found some real beasts out there under the spruce, out by the coast. There we go. So now they're still like raw in the center, and that's fine. They're gonna finish cooking in our mushroom sauce. So now I just have the pan with a little bit of the chicken drippings in there, and I'm gonna deglaze this real quick. I'm just gonna use a little bit of water because I'm not a alcohol guy. So it just gets those little bits off the bottom of the pan, gets them moving around, and I'm gonna add in our mushrooms. And this is gonna allow them to dry saute in here and really exude all of their moisture. So look at all that water that came out of those hedgehog mushrooms. Not just chanterelles. You should do this with just about all wild mushrooms. Give them the dry saute or the dry fry. Look at all that water. I mean, that is a lot. So you could even strain some of that off of there, or just let it reduce all the way out. I'm going to go ahead and strain some of that liquid out, just kind of speed up this process. Now that my dry fry is done, I'm going to add in a nice like 1/5 of a stick of butter, maybe a 1/4 stick of butter, just for that little amount of mushrooms. I really want this to be a creamy, yummy sauce. One thing a lot of people do is they just constantly sit there and they just stir and stir and stir and mess with their mushrooms, and they will never get brown that way. You don't want to keep messing with them. So let them cook. Let them sit there in that fat, in that butter, and just let them get golden brown. It smells so good in here now. Those onions and the mushrooms are cooking with the chicken fat. And just a touch of salt. I like to season everything as I go along. This is about medium heat, so I will give them a little stir after about 3 minutes and let them kind of start to caramelize on the other side. I've got a nice caramelization on my mushrooms, a little bit on the onions. So I'm going to take a nice heaping tablespoon of flour and I'm going to lightly sprinkle that over everything and then stir it all up and let that cook for just a minute. Alright, that's called making a roux. That's kind of a French way to thicken up a sauce, is with that flour, and you don't want it floury tasting, so you let it cook for just a minute. Looks pretty dry in there. And I'm going to add in chicken stock now, and that's going to deglaze it, and that's going to thicken and really make this amazing mushroom chicken sauce. So we're going to let that thicken up for a minute and everything kind of work together. Also, in the meantime, I have a pot of rice cooking because rice goes with chicken and gravy so well. And you see that starting to thicken. It's starting to get that nice shimmery look. Alright, chicken breasts go back in, and we're going to just let these simmer until they're done. Alright, this has been simmering for about 20 minutes, and once I turn the heat off, it's going to kind of thicken up, and it'll be ready to eat. There you have it. Hedgehog mushrooms on rice with chicken and broccoli. Pretty simple. They have such a good bite to them, such a good texture. I just love hedgehog mushrooms. So get out there, get you some. Thanks for watching. Much love. What a huge basket full of amazing edible mushrooms I found in just a short walk here by the coast in Washington State. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more cool videos like this and amazing finds, maybe ideas for habitat for you to go look in. You could go to mushroom-wonderland.com to check out all of the different things that I offer through that website. All the social media links are in the description of this video. Also the mycology courses that I teach at Olympic College in the description of the video. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Much love.